A wake-up call for several northeastern states after they were hit by an earthquake. The U.S. Geological Survey says an earthquake with a magnitude 3.8 hit parts of Maine, strong enough to be felt down in parts of Connecticut and Massachusetts. Scientists at Boston College say this is a 1 in 5 year event. Fortunately, it didn't cause a lot of damage, but those who felt it, that were definitely rattled.
We kind of all just did one of those are you guys hearing and feeling this? And my boss was like, get up and get out of the house. And he thought that a furnace or something was exploding in the basement.
Let's go ahead and break down these earthquakes. Chris joins us right now with more how they're ranked in terms of strength. And actually, I've got a question before we get to that.
Okay, let's do it.
Why do you, a weatherman, handle earthquakes?
Well, because I'm pretty much your station scientist.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's a fair answer. I just wasn't sure because you do it. I mean, and Brad does it. I mean, and Larry does. Like, you guys, it falls into the basket of all the things you guys sort of know about.
It is really interesting, and literally for that seal that you see next to my name where it's AMS, there's literally a section called Station Scientist, where as a broadcast meteorologist, we are encouraged to kind of know all the different oceanography, astronomy, geology.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, there's one little aspect. Now, admittedly, I will learn things as we go. Like, even as we've been streaming, I learned a lot more about California weather because, hey, it's a microclimate that I'm not really used to. As far as geology goes, I know the basics, and we're going to go through those basics. Check this out. So you can go through the USGS, that is the U.S. Geological Society, and they have this report called Who Felt It? Very simple map. And I think this is really cool. So any areas of purple and blue, if we can bring this full so you can see it a little bit better, that's about a magnitude 2 and 3, and I'll get to that. That means that you felt it. And as Ben mentioned, you felt it as far south as Connecticut, and I did our measuring tool. That's about a 200-mile radius from the core of all this energy. Now, a little bit close to that, where you see a little bit of green, that is where you have the near magnitude 4. So let's get right to that. So we had a magnitude 3.8 is what this all came down to, and that was just 10 kilometers, southeast of York Harbor, Maine. Here's what it looks like as far as our magnitudes go. This is a lot of information, but just go step by step with me. Focus in on the bars that I highlighted. 3 to 4. That's a little bit more common. We're about 100,000 magnitude 3 earthquakes happen across the globe every year, about 10,000 magnitude 4s, and that's pretty much what we had where it's noticeable shaking. Now, areas that are a little bit further outside of that, it's often felt, but there's no damage. There's no damage in this range. Once you get to about a 5, that's where you have some property damage, and as you go on, notice the verbiage here: moderate, strong, major, great. Once you get to 8, that's severe damage, loss of life, and that's just a historic earthquake. Luckily, we're nowhere near that. But like wind speed, as you go up the Richter scale, the damage actually exponentially increases and the rarer that it gets. And speaking about rarity, this is an extremely rare event because Maine doesn't usually see events like this, where there's 17 tectonic plates across the globe. What you're also looking at is all the different dots here. Those are earthquakes have been reported over the last 10 years, where a majority of all earthquakes that we see each and every year happen along those pink lines or those tectonic plate lines. And that's also why California has so many of them. If you look really closely, look at all those 2s, 3s, and 4s. All those have happened within the last 10 days. So it's pretty common that we have constant earthquakes each and every day. Very rare for it to happen as far north as around Maine. Now, we just raised our earthquake IQ. We're all a little bit smarter.